So hello and welcome to an episode of Things for Us. As you can see, join me on a beautiful September evening, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity just to go through a little bit about each of these cars. And at the moment there's only three here, and we'll come on to that in a moment why there's only three. So as you guys know, I recently bought an SL from a classic car auction. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go back a couple of videos. There's a little bit of a tour, a little bit of how I bought the car, and yeah. So anyway, I bought that car. It's come here for a few weeks, and the long and short of it is that I ended up taking it to work, and I've done a few little bits and pieces. However, there's some other stuff which I'm going to probably go more in depth into in a future video. That needs a little bit more specialist work. We'll do an example of that. The dashboard has a few issues in terms of all the dials, and the instrument cluster has a few issues. Basically, there was a buzzing sound coming from there, and what that basically is the sound of when you open the door, sometimes like a bonging noise or whatever. It makes a buzzing sound when you open the door. If you have lights on, for example. What's happening is at the moment is that the car is making that sound all the time. So it's reversed. It's not actually meant to be doing it. And when you do turn the lights on, or you put the indicator on or something, it decides to turn off. So it's the buzzing sound goes off. So it's actually reversed. It's doing it when it shouldn't be doing it at all, really. Also, as I mentioned before, the odometer wasn't working. That again was another issue. The little trip computer wasn't working. The little odometer wasn't working. So the guys at work took that apart, and basically what they found out is that someone's already been in there looking at an issue. Whether there was an issue with the odometer someone's tried to fix, and basically it was a bit of a mess back there. So they've said, well, do you want us to investigate a bit more? But they can't necessarily get the parts supply up there, which is why I'm taking it to the SL shop. There's a few other issues with it as well. However, it's going to the SL shop. They are the specialists. I'm really confident they'll be able to sort it out. So at the moment, there's a little bit of a waiting list for them. However, one of the things they have said to me is sort of a couple of options. You can wait a little bit and then send the car along in a few weeks, or you can send the car to us straight away, and actually get the car. If we have a cancellation or we find some extra time or something, we can get the car in and get it looked at. So I don't particularly need the car. It's not that I'm short of cars, really. So I said to them, well, let's get the car to you, and that'll be going out on Thursday. So it'll be there by the time this video goes out. And so hopefully we'll be able to give me an update fairly soon. I always hope that someone cancelled in a way so that I get my car a little bit quicker. But yeah, it'd be great to get it sorted now and great to get it all done. So what's happening with the other three? We'll start off. I want to go in order here. B-Class doing B-Class daily driver stuff. Just had a service and MOT. It also had a little bit of an issue with one of the sensors again, and they found that actually it wasn't the sensor that was a problem. It was one of the connectors, so I've literally taken the connector out, just cleaned it out and fitted it back again, and that seems to have done the trick. Actually, I don't see any problem with that one. So yeah, that's that really. I can't really get too excited over this car. Much I appreciate all the work it does, much I like it, it's the sort of go over here to get excited. So this SLK is going in for service and MOT. I do like my service and MOT. That's what all these cars seem to end up doing. So service and MOT to end of the month. It's in like a couple of weeks' time. The only other thing I've had with this car recently, it makes a bit of a rattling noise on the engine bay when you start the car up. It seems to be okay, but I've had a look under there and I've started it up with the engine, the bonnet open, and try and see in there. I've noticed the air filter box is really rattling quite a bit now. I don't know quite whether it's gone a bit loose, whether there's a problem with it, whether I'm not too sure. So I'm going to ask them to have a look at that for me. Other than that, this car's absolutely fine. We'll come along a little bit more, avoiding the dog. So we'll move on to my £500 bargain SLK. And I don't know if it's fair to call it a £500 SLK anymore. I've probably got about £2,000 into this car. Probably just over, but I like to think now that actually it's worth probably that. So maybe I should stop calling it the £500 SLK and start calling it the £2,000 SLK, or maybe just call it the SLK. I do now refer to this as my older SLK, now my newer SLK, as opposed to I used to say the £500 SLK. I've sort of switched recently over to the older SLK. One of the shows I went to recently was Radwood. I know the show itself is a bit disappointing, one of the highlights of the day for me was actually this car. Now, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but when I bought this car, I did feel that it was a bit down its luck. It had obviously been very well used and obviously enjoyed over the years by the previous owners, but it did need a bit of work, and it was a little bit feeling sorry for itself, really. And one of the things I always say, I can always get sort of feelings from cars. It sounds very creepy, that does, but I do sort of feel like cars have feelings. Like, they're much more than just pieces of metal and plastic and rubber to me. And more recently, every time I drive this car, it almost feels that it's thankful. It almost feels that it's grateful I've taken it on and done it up a bit. And really given this car a new lease of life. And I'm actually quite proud of that, really. As silly as that sounds, I'm really proud that actually I did something with this car, and it's now going to hopefully go on for many years. Now, I did say when I bought this car I was going to give it a year, do all the little jobs on it, enjoy it, and I think I've mostly succeeded in that goal. And then at the end of the year, which is coming sort of next month, it'll be October, we're just in September now, so a couple of months, I was going to sort of do a decision on whether I keep this car, whether I sell it, um, and I don't know. I think it's possibly might be the case that every time I drive this car, I love this car a little bit more, and I think it's going to be very hard for me to give up this car. It's completely won me over. There's been times when I was out there with tools at -5, filling them out in the battery, trying to get that to work, and I've sort of wondering why the hell am I doing this? And there's never times when I've taken it to shows and people have walked around and complete strangers come to me and said how much of a fantastic car it is. I've ended up getting in conversations with them, and people seem to really like this car. And I genuinely would miss this car if it went. And that's the number one thing in the back of my mind. I'm thinking, oh, I know I said a year and I'll see, but I'm sort of, I think the jury might be coming back in to pronounce their case very soon on this one. So we'll still see what happens with it, but I think this car's probably going to stay. So my plans for the cars: get the SL done up, get it to the point where I can drive it and enjoy it. The B class, just keep doing your thing, B class, and just do that daily stuff that you do in all weathers. SLK, yep, that's fine. Get it through its service and MOT. Get that air filter box looked at, and that's about it for this car. And as the SLK, as already mentioned, the spark plugs, wheels, refurb, and that's about it, really. I think then that is pretty much the end of this project. I think the other mirror needs doing as well. That's still quite loose on the one bracket. It's never come out. So I've driven this car at 70 down the motorway, and it's never ever come out. It's just a little bit loose, so I might probably get a new one of those. Anyway, probably just get the car all completed now. Try and get it done. Not in particular hurry to get the last little bits done. And just again use and enjoy it. And as I say, I'm probably going to be here for a while, this car, so I don't think it's going anytime soon. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, this SLK and this SLK are going on a bit of a road trip on the weekend. Now, don't ask me how I'm able to drive both cars. I'm not, but I'm not going to say how I'm going to get both cars there. That will be something for a later video. I'm really excited about it. There's going to be a little bit of a driving tour based around the Cotswolds, stopping at a few different places, but that's all I'm going to say for now. So I'm really excited about it, and I think you guys will look forward to that as well. That was just a really little quick update of what's going on with the cars. People are really excited about the SL. I'm getting quite a few questions about that and quite a few comments on some of the videos on that car as well. And people seem genuinely interested in what's going on with it and want to know a bit more about it. There's plenty more SL content coming up soon. Once he comes back from the SL shop, I'll be able to do a little bit of the clean of the interior. A couple of people are really excited about that. If you're like me, you love cleaning cars and particularly dirty cars. That's one of my personal favourite things in the whole wide world, because I'm particularly sad again. So that's a real fleet update. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you pop a like. If you've got a question about any of these cars, please make sure you comment below. And as ever, I'm trying my very best to answer them. And as ever, I'm trying to push towards 400 subscribers at the moment. I'm hoping to do a little bit of subscriber giveaway once I get to 400 subscribers as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe. It's going to be for everybody, and you might well be in the chance of winning a special prize. So it's goodbye from me, goodbye from most of the fleet, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.